Hey, this is Josie with Affirmation Pod, your home for personal development, where I create actionable content that you can try before you hit the sack tonight. I hope wherever you're listening to this, you are feeling comfortable in your skin and being yourself and not comparing, which is such a easy temptation. But you really, as I was just thinking to myself a few minutes ago before I pushed record, I just got to be me. And I hope you're just being you, because it's really no use being someone else. Today's episode marks the start of the second half of the worksheet series. So we've done 4 months, 4 worksheets. Now we've got 4 to go. And this month's worksheet is the money management worksheet, which you can get by going to affirmationpod.com/money management. If you're new to Affirmation Pod, the last 8 months of 2016, I'm theming each month based on a reflection workbook I created. And so there's 8 worksheets, 8 months. The worksheet is featured in the first episode of the month, and then the rest of the month's episodes are based on that theme. So for the money management worksheet, I've got down to list the last 10 times you spent money. So for expenses, purchases, bills, etc. And that might sound juicy to know what I'm spending my money on, but I'm really not a juicy person when it comes to spending and money. I'm going to talk about this more in the next episode, where I'll talk about my money management style and things I've learned and how I've grown and changed. But I'm a total saver. My credit cards are paid in full every month. I don't pay interest. I have a line of credit. I don't use it. In a lot of ways, I'm allergic to debt, I feel like. But at the end of the day, and something I've said to friends here and there is like, well, I'm not stupid with money, but I'm not smart with money either. And anyways, I'm going to go much into this in the next episode, especially because my husband is a spender, and talk about the system we've set up and the strategies we use and things that he's taught me. Because even though a lot of spenders will say, wow, I wish I was a saver, there actually are some drawbacks to being a saver. And that's where I really appreciate what my husband's taught me. But let's get to the worksheet. The last 10 things I spent money on. Number 1, my smartphone bill, my cell phone bill, I guess I should say. $75.04. Oh yeah, everything here is Canadian dollars. And I don't know if $75 a month is like ridiculous or low or what compared to where you live. But for me, it's $75.04. The second thing is, this is my husband's purchase. But still, I benefited from it. He $17.85. He went to a local Italian restaurant recently and purchased 2 meatball sandwiches for us. I'm not super low on iron at this stage of my pregnancy, but I am feeling tired. And so he's been on the hunt for sources of iron to feed me, which feeds his son. Number 3 is $46.80 at Choices Market, which is it's basically a Whole Foods, just a smaller version. Number 4 is $107.96 from Spud. I get most of my groceries, I'm going to say 80% of my groceries through Spud, which is a delivery service. You order your groceries online, comes to the door. It's not perfect, and the variety isn't as much as it is at Choices or Whole Foods, but I love how it delivers right to my door. Number 5 is, so number 5 to 8, we actually trekked over to our mall, which we don't go to that often, maybe twice a year. But the reason was it's Clinique bonus time. And so I needed some makeup, and I wanted to get it during the bonus time. So I get the extra mascara and the extra eyeshadow that comes with it. The other stuff I don't need. So Sears is where I bought the makeup from. That's number 5, $38.08. While we were there, we went to the Apple store and I bought a Lightning to HDMI cable, which was $66.08 for our minivan. It has a feature where you can play things off of an iPhone or an iPad or whatever to the screen in the car. And I wanted to try it out, but I couldn't try it out without this cord. So I purchased it. It works. So that's number 6. Number 7, we stopped at Booster Juice, got smoothies. That's $12.50. And then we went to Superstore, which is, it's a big grocery store. It's kind of like, I guess it's like a cross between a Walmart and a Costco, or like an extra big Safeway. I don't know how to explain it, but we spent $45.67 there. Number 9 is $9.43, which is the hosting I use for the Affirmations for Healthy Living podcast, which I still have up. And number 10 is $26.95 for the Affirmation Pod hosting service. So these are monthly services I use for the podcasts. And that's it. That's my last 10 purchases. So the last part of the worksheet says, we spend money on what's important to us. What does this show is important to me? Now, before I go there, are these last 10 purchases typical of our purchases in our family? I'd say yes, except the trip to the mall, like I say, it's not typical of us. And so you'd probably see, if we really averaged it out, you'd probably see more restaurants normally, and it just didn't show up in these last 10 expenses. And also, I guess every other month I place an Amazon order, and that's for diapers and other things that I might need. We don't go to Costco very often. I'd say at the max 3 times a year. So what does this say is important to me? Well, groceries from stores that are offering organic and less processed foods, and that would be Spud and Choices. I also go to Whole Foods, but it's maybe once a month. But like I said earlier, I use Spud for most of my groceries. It says I'm into technology because of the podcast expenses, the cable I bought for the car, and of course my smartphone. And that really kind of does sum up me. Try to eat healthy. And over the past maybe 5 years, I've gotten pretty geeky. I joked with some friends recently that I was a geeky nerd for a long time, but now I'm maybe more of a nerdy geek. Anyways, as I mentioned in the time management episode, all management is self-management. And when it comes to money, that is self-management as well. And what gets managed the best and the most typically is what is measured. So this worksheet is identifying the last 10 things you spent money on. But maybe for you, taking 20 minutes and going through your credit card statements for the last year and just totaling it up would be a better measure. And then you would know how much your expenses are and then be able to look at your income and figure out, okay, how do these numbers measure up? Or maybe you do have debt, you do have credit card debt, or you owe relatives, family money, and you want to find ways to reduce that debt or not spend as much. I've met a lot of not just clients, but friends who are just like, I don't know where I stand financially because I'm afraid to look. And my question for you would be, okay, stick with that fear. What's that fear about? Why are you afraid to look? What would it be like to look? What might be uncomfortable for you? Now, if it's time to start addressing money management skills in your life, the way you look at money, the way you manage money, and what will help motivate you to make shifts around your money management, take a look at my mini course called The Change Framework. This isn't going to be on debits and credits or dollars and cents, but it's going to be on how to make changes in your life and how to connect with your brain and to work with your brain and, in a sense, reprogram your brain so that you don't give up and just go back to your old ways, but that you dig in and find the tools and resources within yourself to be able to apply the change and make a lasting change. You can find the course at affirmationpod.com/change. The promo code MONEY will get you $30 off. So that's affirmationpod.com/change with the promo code MONEY for $30 off. That's it for today. This is Josie Ong with Affirmation Pod, your home for personal development. Thank you so much for clicking play and tuning in today. Bye for now.